Poetry, episode 94.
Wow.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
94. And this past year, look at this transition. Aaron Baker, who is a professor at Loyola University Chicago, which is, that's our hometown, just published a collection called Posthumous Noon last year. And this poem, Water Strider, comes from this collection. John, have you seen this poem before?
I've never seen this poem before, people, so...
All right, here we
hang
go.
on.
Here we go. All right. Water Strider. Though winged, he walks on water, skates between elements, skitters like thought through the cattails. A snake slips unseen through the underbrush. The forest shifts and sighs, once again won't speak its secret. Between the trees, my father glides through sunlight, then shadow. Surface tension. The strider rows forward with middle legs, steers with back legs, grasps with forelegs the insect on which he feeds. Leaning into my reflection, my arched body is the fulcrum on which all of this turns. The sun hollows the air, burns it of all but the most essential sound, mud slurp and leaf stir. And there, a contrail over the Cascades, the quick stroke of a master's hand, and through the high hush, the vessel itself, an insect spark on the burnt-in blue.
All right. That's cool. That's my first reaction. What I see, I was trying to get like a story because we had the water strider and then something about the father, and then we realized that there's a child. I guess I'm assuming it's a child. Maybe I shouldn't. And then, but I kept thinking, oh, but there's this really cool image, and oh, there's this like cool little line that I like, and so I was losing the story if there was a story. So I kind of felt like, oh, there's like three different layers or three different strands to the poem that I was trying to juggle while I was hearing it.
Right.
But what got me right off the bat was the word though. Winged, he walks on water. Like, this is something that could fly, but doesn't.
It chooses to...
Right. Or maybe the wings don't really work. You know, like some wings don't actually let you fly. So either like a lost power or a choice. That was my very first reaction. So what did you...
Yeah, I agree. You picked up on the same thing I was going to say, that there are three parts to this. It's the insect itself, then his father, and then I'm assuming the son or the speaker leaning over the side of the boat looking at his reflection. And he sees the last section, the contrail over the Cascades, which is really cool. That's like that jet, you know, the stream that you see when a jet flies over. Is he seeing that in the reflection of the water? Because when he says his arched body is the fulcrum, leaning into my reflection, and it's the fulcrum on which all of this turns. So he puts kind of pressure on himself, you know, that this beautiful scene somehow all has to do with him and his actions, which I thought was interesting because...
Or just his perception, right? He's the one perceiving it all, maybe? Yeah.
So I picture... he's leaning over the boat. He's looking in his reflection in the water. Maybe he sees the sky reflected in the water. And then his father...
Yeah, I didn't get what the father was doing. Like, because clearly the father is meant to be connected to the water strider because my father glides. And I'm like, okay, well, clearly there's a connection between the insect and the father. But I didn't see the real... I was waiting for that to pay off with, okay, what is the father... doing, and then he seemed to just appear and then disappear, which might be part of, I guess, part of it. But then I got to Mud-slurp and leaf stir, and I was like, oh, that's such a great, that's such a great collection of words that kind of threw me.
Yeah, it's just great auditory description there. I thought when so the father part, he rows forward with middle legs, steers with back legs, grasps with forelegs the insect on which he feeds. And
I thought that was the insect doing. I thought that was the water strider doing.
Well, it says, between the trees my father glides through sunlight, then shadow, surface tension.
Period.
Right? The strider rows forward. So I read that as a comparison of the father to the strider.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when he grasps the insect on which he feeds, what is the insect?
Did you think the father is eating the insect?
Well, no, I think it's a metaphor for the father, right? That the father is rowing the boat that they're in,
Right.
and pushing them forward, and whatever it is that the father's reaching for, that's what he's feeding on, right? So that's why I was curious if that is the case.
Okay.
So, he says just like a strider, basically, he's rowing and he's also reaching out for something on which he feeds. So what is the insect on which he feeds? I just thought that was it's almost like a praying mantis more than a strider to me. It's
Yes.
like reaching out and snatching something and eating it.
But is the father in a boat?
Well, I thought that they were. That's when I saw the rowing. I
Right.
thought that maybe the father was rowing a boat. He was leaning over the side of the boat, leaning into my reflection. Or maybe they're on the side,
Yeah.
on the shore. When he says the strider rows forward, that's when I started, that image
Yeah.
popped into
No,
my
I mean,
head.
yeah, I mean that makes sense. I just,
Yeah.
I don't know if we can know, but I mean, so the father is, in theory, the father has his son on a boat, and he's got he's rowing his son through
The Cascades.
yeah.
Oh, and it says at the end, and through the high hush, the vessel itself.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the other reason I thought they were on a boat. And then the last couple lines, if you can help me with this, an insect spark on the burnt-in blue.
On the water, like
And he mentioned
the burning of the sun
right,
hollowing the
for
earth, burning it
hollowing,
all, yeah.
right. And the insect spark goes back to the strider grasping the insect. So is the insect spark where he's like biting into it or something, or
Or is it that the vessel itself is the boat, and the
it's
vessel is
shining.
like an insect spark on the blue water?
blue of the water? Yeah,
Right.
that's probably more.
Quick stroke of the master's hand would be the dad, maybe, right? Or
But
is the quick stroke of the master's hand like a painter has put a stroke and paint in the sky,
Yeah.
right?
So as he's going through this memory, he's repainting it himself.
And he would see this, if he's looking in the water, he would see,
would see the sky reflected in the
up.
water.
So he's kind of comparing himself, like the water strider is obviously both the insect and the, oh, okay, so though winged he walks on water. I mean, like in theory, they could walk, they don't have to be in a boat, right? I'm assuming skates between all the skitters, like thought through the cattails.
What
Yeah.
I think is interesting about this overall, I mean, regardless of the water strider bit, is that usually when you read poems or stories like this, when it's about a memory of a parent or a relative or a friend or something like that, I don't get any kind of feeling one way or the other
Right.
about the father.
Yeah, that's what I was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
That's what
usually,
confused me,
yeah,
yeah.
usually a memory like this would be something negative or really positive
Right.
about your relationship with your father, and I don't know. I didn't get any of that kind of emotional, and maybe
Right.
it's just meant to be a thought painting, that
Right.
he just loved that moment with his dad.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
thought that
kept
was
waiting
interesting.
for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's great. Hopefully, he had a great relationship with his father, and he
Yeah.
didn't need to write a poem about anything bad that happened.
Yeah, because I can't find anything that gives away the tone, like the tone,
Yeah.
really, of the relationship, right? Or,
And we've done a few of those poems on this show where someone's talking about a father or mother and the issues they have with them and all those kinds of things. So this is kind of refreshing. It's very
mysterious.
yeah, another
good
really
for students. I think students would have fun trying to find, can they pin down?
exactly.
Maybe you can't, but
Yeah.
can they? Or how would they read that?
Yeah, it's very cryptic. All right, thanks for watching. Please join us on Twitter at Trojan Poetry DGN and join us on our website at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com.